Okay, so moving on with Packet Tracer, we're going to reopen it. We can actually click on the file that I actually want to use this time. It's this network final file here. That'll open Packet Tracer and automatically open this file for me. Let's expand that up. So first of all, let me just zoom out a bit so you can see what's going on. So it's quite a big network. It looks a little bit daunting to start with. What we've basically got here is we've got Bob's house. We can just see the wireless popping up there. We've got Bob's house with a PC, a laptop and a tablet all connected to his wireless router. His wireless router's connected to a modem. These are often integrated actually into the same device, so typically this will be one device in most houses, and this modem is connected out over this dotted line back to it says cloud here. It's nothing to do with cloud as in cloud services. It's a connection back to the ISP. If we have a look at this dotted line here and we go down to our cables, what you'll notice from the cables and the dotted line is a phone line. So this internet connection is being provided over the phone line, and this is typical of a DSL or an ADSL connection. So if you're with BT or TalkTalk or giffgaff or lots of those types of services, they all use the phone line into your house to provide the internet, and this modem communicates over the phone line. We've got this guy here, Black Hat, floating around. We'll explain more about him later. And Anne, on the other hand, she's got a PC and a laptop and a smartphone. She's connected to the same wireless router, but her wireless router is connected to a cable modem. And again, sometimes this cable modem is built into the router on some of the newer cable modem boxes, but quite often until very recently it was a separate device. If we look how the cable modem's connected back, then it's this blue line, and again going down here, if we look at the blue line, this is a coaxial cable. So this service is a cable service. Now in the UK at the moment, the only cable service provider is Virgin Media. So this is, if you're on Virgin Media, you've got a cable coming into your home, which goes through a splitter block, and it feeds your TV services as well as your modem and your router to give you internet access. So both of these are connected back through these, like I said, it's not a cloud service, but it's a connection point to your ISP, the internet service provider. So typically this might be BT for ADSL connections, and this ISP could be Virgin Media for cable connections. And the ISP is connected back to the internet. So what's the internet? Well, the internet is actually just a collection of more ISPs, and hanging off the ends of ISPs are other companies or other end users. So this internet here really is just a collection of ISPs and other networks, just like we've connected it here. So that's a basic configuration of our network, and this network that we've set up here we're going to use to investigate and look at the way the network actually works. So one of the most common features people use the internet for is to surf the web, and there's often confusion between the World Wide Web and the internet. Now they are separate things, and hopefully this video will go some way to explaining those. So if we just have a look at our ISP at the moment, it's all hidden in a cluster. It's called the ISP. If I click on this cloud, it'll actually expand and it'll show me what's in there. It's showing me that the ISP is made up of this device here, which is a switch, some end connection points, and some servers, a DHCP server, whatever that is, a DNS server, and a mail server, ISP mail server. So to come out of that cluster we go back. Let's go and have a look at our internet, see what our internet's made up of. The internet's made up of, well, it's not a very realistic internet, this is just to give us connections, but it's basically a switch, and it's got some servers here hanging around the outside, and you can see these are all web servers. One's for bcu.ac.uk, one's computing at school.org.uk, and the other one is netacad.com, and there's also an internet mail server, mail.com. So for now, just remember one of these web addresses. We're going to remember bcu.ac.uk. Let's go back and let's just go on to Bob's laptop. So we go into Bob's laptop. We want to look at his desktop, and on his desktop he has got a web browser, so we'll click on the web browser and we'll see if he can get to www.bcu.ac.uk. And we'll hit hit go. Now that actually ran quite quickly because I've been talking and explaining the network to you. If you just fire it up, don't expect it to work instantly. It does take a little while to settle down. So we've got a basic HTML page here. It's got a picture. We've got some hyperlinks, so we can go to a small page, hello world, and we can go back. We can go to some copyright notice, which is all about Packet Tracer and how to use it, and we can go back from there. So what we've done then is we've used Bob's laptop here to make a web request for a web page, and that web request has gone all the way through the internet, through the ISP out here to our internet, and to that actual web server we looked at earlier on. And the web server has replied and sent the information all the way back through the network, so it arrives back on Bob's PC and it can be displayed. So that was Bob's laptop. Let's have a look at Anne's PC, going to the same device. So we go to desktop and web server and www.bcu.ac.uk, and I'm going to hit go at the end, and yeah, Anne's PC got the same page. So that's basically web browsing. It's using a piece of software on the PC called the web browser. It's about knowing the name of the website that you want to go to, or some other way to link to it from a search engine such as Google, making a request by typing this page in or finding a link to it, so this URL in, as it's called, and the devices then reply back to you and give you a web page. And the World Wide Web is the connection of these web servers that provide pages of their own and provide links to other servers that are providing web services. And that's just one small part of what the internet can provide for us. Okay, let's have a look at another service provided by the internet. So if we click on the ISP here, you can see the ISP is providing a mail service, a mail server, isp.co.uk. And if we go and have a look at that, click on the services tab and email, you can see on the ISP email server, Bob and Anne have both got accounts. We can look at Bob's account, his password Cisco123, and the domain is isp.co.uk, and Anne similarly has a username and password Cisco123. So that's been set up for us already. We don't have to worry about that. Let's close that down and go back. And this is typical. An ISP does provide email services, and some people do use their ISP's email. So if we go onto Bob's computer here, and again on his desktop, and we look at his email, we can see here in the configuration we've already set up Bob's email account. And if you're setting up your own email account, this is something you might have to do. You'll have your name, you'll have your email address, Bob. You need to know where the mail server is. Typically these will be the same address, so they can be different. And you'll have some information how to log in, Bob, and you'll have your password. So that's already been done for us, so we can get rid of that. So if we want to send an email, what we do is we compose an email. We're going to send this to Anne, and her email address is anne@isp.co.uk, and the subject is Great Day Out, and send the message, hi Anne, I had a great day out at a CAS hub meeting last week. That's obviously from Bob. So there's the email, and we'll now send that. So it's going to anne@isp.co.uk. We'll say send. You can see down the bottom we actually get some messages. So these don't typically appear on normal mail programs, but it does within Packet Tracer to help us out. You can see we're sending the mail to Anne with the subject Great Day Out, and the mail server mail.isp.co.uk resolved. We'll explain what that means later on, and it was possible to send the message. So I wonder where the message is at the moment. Well, the way mail works is at the moment the email will have been sent over to the ISP into this mail server here, and at the moment, not that we can see it in here, but the email is actually sitting in the mail server waiting for Anne to log in and get her email, because obviously her computer may well have been off when Bob sent that message. So Anne comes in, fires up her PC, fires up her email program. She just checked, yeah, we've already configured Anne's email, so her configuration is all set, that's okay. And what we now need to do is say receive. We're just going to get it to check email. So she's receiving from the server mail, and she received a mail, and here it is, Bob's email. So we can open up Bob's email. Hi Anne, had a great day out at the CASUB meeting. So basically what we've done is we've now shown that this part of the network, okay, it's only with the ISP, but it could well have been with the internet, allowed us for Bob to create an email and send it, and it sat here in the ISP's mail server. It waited for Anne to log on. When Anne logged on, she connected to her mail server and said download or receive, and she pulled the mail down and it landed on her PC. So this is another service provided by the internet, email, and it's one of the biggest services that's actually used, second only to the web.